You see the distant flames, they bellow in the night. You fight in all our names for what we know is right. And when you all get shot and cannot carry on, though you die, La Resistance lives on. You may get stabbed in the head with a dagger or a sword. You may be burned to death or skinned alive or worse. But when they torture you, you will not feel the need to run, for though you die, La Resistance lives on.
Rape Canada! Rape Canada! Because the country's gone...
Can I say welcome to Tales of Wales, the pod that never fails to be the resistance of boredom, the ally against the axis of dire podcasts, the old Tommy soldier against the horrible little Nazis of truth, or I don't know.
You added till the end there. I thought it was pretty good for an off the cuff one though.
Very off the cuff, because we're in a rush, aren't we, mate? We're in a bloody old rush.
Not these days, mate.
Yeah.
We're under the cosh, always under the cosh.
Do you know what? I love the word.
Like resistant soldiers themselves, mate.
Exactly.
Always threats looming.
Do you know, I really like it when someone says, put the kibosh on that. I love that.
I love saying kibosh. Such a good word to say.
Isn't it? Oh, well, no, the missus put the kibosh on that.
Yeah. I hope no one puts the kibosh on a saying, puts the kibosh on stuff. Because that, I love it.
Absolutely. Don't really know what the kibosh is. It sounds vaguely Russian.
You know, like how it's supposedly the Russian mob has their entire accumulation of wealth is called like the upshack.
Is it? Oh, what's up, Shaq?
Yeah, something like
Nothing.
that.
What's up with
Shaq?
You?
Exactly, yeah. And it sounds like one of those, don't put the kibosh on the upshack, we'll all be skint.
Yeah. I've never heard of the Russian mob money. It's called the upshack.
You've seen, you've seen Nobody, haven't you? Yes, you've seen it, the Russians and the mob, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've seen Nobody, haven't you?
Yeah,
the old man who's like,
the old man
looking for a scrap. He
the
says it in that. It's the Obshack, maybe.
Yeah.
Obshack.
That film isn't something you really pay attention to, though, is it? It's more you just watch the old man.
I can't go deep on the lore of the film Nobody, because it's all I was doing is watching Bob Odenkirk batter people and get battered in turn.
Yeah.
And it was bloody well.
But it was quite fun, though, wasn't it?
It was a good film. It's a good flick. Go on. You got something to say?
Oh, well, I was just going to say...
Didn't mean to say that so aggressively.
Well, you got to say something. I was going to say we got new Patreon tiers, which I want us to mention. But I just...
the launch. Lanciad.
Yeah. So should I mention them now? Because we've got to, we're at the 12-month mark now. So, obviously, we had like a... Sorry, what am I trying to say? We've got new tiers because we've run out our old tiers. So people who were had been a Patreon for long enough that they're now not really getting an awful lot more for their higher tier system. So we're fixing it. All right, give us a moment. Yeah. So currently, if you pay the top £10 tier, you get 2 episodes a month plus personalised artwork after the first month. And then after 3 months, you get a dedicated episode to your hometown. Then after 6 months, we turn you into a Welsh legend. And we make a Mad Benogion story based on some facts you give us. So you give us some info. We turn you into a bloody laugh. And they seem to go down really well. And now we're thinking at the 12th month mark, we give you a T-shirt. So
a free bit of merch.
Yeah, I mean, you are paying. I hate it when they say.
I mean, it's not free.
It's like when they say, "Oh, it's free on Game Pass," like on the Xbox service. Like, no,
I pay for Game Pass.
I pay for Game Pass. You pig.
Yeah. So sorry, I'll retract that statement. It's not free. You paid for it. You paid for it, and some probably if you've been with us a year. But it's a token of our appreciation.
Well, no, it sounds shit.
It's not shit. It's just if you've been with us a year, you've given us a fair few quid.
I hate the way you market anything, and also
trying to be honest, the honest salesman. It ain't that great, but
Look at us fucking infighting.
We can't do sales, man. Ever since we fucking started the Patreon, we've absolutely butchered trying to sell this.
People pay for the pod because they're very supportive, which is amazing. And what we want to do then is give back to those who support keeping this going. So we try and think of little incentives. So 12-month mark, you get a T-shirt of your choice from the Tales of Wales merch. And then at the 18-month mark, we do a Patreon episode on a topic of your... 15-month mark, we make a family shield crest for you.
A royal, something to hand down to your heirs, a royal lineage.
We'll say digital, so it's not a physical thing.
We're not going to be fucking at the blacksmiths, fucking smashing a bit of iron together for a shield.
Sorry, some iron. And then at 18 months, we'll do a Patreon topic on anything of your choice. So that's as much sales as I can fucking handle. Now let me go back to berating you for something else as well before we carry on.
I was going to say I'm not doing any sad topics this time or anything.
And also,
like that,
you
or
sabotaged
some
the
gross
pod.
things.
You sabotaged the pod.
I know.
A week ago, 2 weeks ago.
I am but a man. Okay, I'm fallible as the rest of them.
So just so people are aware, when that episode came out, where I was trying to carefully choose my words on kneecap, I said to Jack, "Oh, sorry, can I start again? Can I edit around this? Sorry, Jack, can you wait for a second?" And then you left it in and left me look like a fucking pig.
Nasty old Jack went, I'm going to ignore him and completely do it and fucking screw him over.
When I re-listened,
it was an accident. I dragged over the wrong file, the file pre-edit.
You're a pig.
I apologise.
You're a pig and you hate the pod.
It'll never happen again.
I mean, it will happen again. It will happen absolutely again.
Well, on a long enough timeline, anything can happen, can't it? So
I listened to the episode. I thought, oh well, I'm so ineloquent at trying to describe a movie, or because I love movie podcasts. So I was like, oh, I wonder how I sound when I try and do that. And I was like, I liked the bit when he did that.
You're just full of passion, mate. Right? It's hard to contain.
Yeah, I got too carried away. Yes.
Only the first, I don't know, what we call it, 150 people will have heard that version, so you're probably fine. Out of the whole world, what's that? Not even 1%.
True. Yeah, we did. Yeah, luckily we fixed it quite quickly. So but to the early birds who listen at the crack of dawn, thanks for that.
The irony of the people who listen to us, first and foremost, we're number one on their listening list. They're like, worst. Oh, we get a shitter product than the rest of them.
And also, but then, so I thought I was garbage at trying to talk about like films. But then I listened to the next episode where I talked about that game. And I think because I was a bit tireder and a bit less energetic, I was more listenable. I was like, oh, actually, I'm not getting too excitable. So that should always be our plan. If we ever want to talk about something cultural,
stay up really
burn
late
out first. Drink 10 pints and really get to it.
I was going to say, as if we needed an excuse as well. That's what we do anyway. Go, you might say, a bit tired. I was on the fucking session again last night. Well, we're not actually on the session at the moment, though, are we?
No, it's a lunchtime recording.
Beggars belief.
And it is gorgeous outside, man. So I'm just fucking so keen for a pint.
We're not on the sesh, but we're gagging to be on the sesh.
And I am on the sesh tomorrow. I'm on a big sesh tomorrow, so
I'm mega.
I'm getting fucking thirsty. And I tried to be mean to Jack earlier. I tried to gaslight him to thinking all of his friends were going out without him. I was like, oh, I'm on all day tomorrow with Josh, Dan, Coxie, Craig, like friends who don't all hang out together to try and make it sound like, oh, why is everyone invited but not me?
It was a big event, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any inkling that were you like, why wasn't I invited?
I had a pang of, oh, that's nice. That's really nice. I mean, I can't, because I couldn't go anyway. I got a date day planned with the wife tomorrow. But I was like, oh, yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't really matter. They didn't invite me anyway because I can't make it. But nice to be thought of, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I was only teasing because really,
I masked it with a message with an emoji at the end.
Yeah,
just
classic
cool.
to soften the blow.
Paste over the fucking cracks. Yeah.
But I'm out with my football team tomorrow, and I am absolutely buzzing.
Squad.
Yeah, the squad.
The
squad.
Team. That's what they call them, isn't it? The squad.
The squad. Yeah. And so where are you going for your Welsh themed date? Because tomorrow, the time of recording, is Dydd Gwyl Dewi.
Yes. Isn't it? It's rugby tomorrow as well, isn't it?
Don't think so. I think it's off tomorrow.
Is it not? Oh, they missed it. Oh, never mind then.
Yeah. Wait, was that your date?
Oh yeah, shit.
Oh shit.
We've got to go see the rugby. No. I just thought it might be packed in town. But no, I'm doing I tried to find somewhere that was doing like a Welsh themed or St David's themed like afternoon tea because the wife loves an afternoon tea.
Yeah.
Couldn't really find anything. It's just the generic ones that were around town. So I've gone the brave option. I'm going to try and make my own afternoon tea with Welsh snacks. So I've got all the ingredients to make some Welsh rarebit.
Yeah,
I'm going to put those onto like little slices, like almost like soldiers, toast soldiers.
I know the type.
So they're nibbleable instead of like being a big meal. I've got some Glamorgan saucies. I tried to get rissoles, but probably a good thing I couldn't find them in any self-respecting shop because they kind of scatify the thing a little bit, don't they? They like what you get on the end of a night out.
You do get them in butchers. So if you have a local butcher's by you, they often will serve nice
I didn't even think
rissoles.
of that. But I got some lamb as well.
Yeah.
Some lamb. I'm going to try my attempt at cooking lamb.
Afternoon tea. It's a joint of lamb.
It's a rack. And what else have I got?
What,
I got some
eating it in the
Scotch eggs,
house?
but those are just
They're for you.
just prepping it in the house with some drinks. I was going to go like make buy loads of booze and make Welsh themed cocktails as well, but I can't be asked like buying a fucking bottle of Midori for like 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Like what's I going to do? Just sit in my cupboard? I'm never going to drink bloody melon liqueur anymore. So
Yeah.
I couldn't be bothered with that. I'm just gonna have my Bud Lights
Yeah.
and a bit of rum. I got Barty actually in the
Nice.
the cupboard, so that's Welsh themed. But yeah, I can't remember what else I got now. I got some Scotch eggs, but those are just for me. That's not a Welsh thing. It's just a little treat.
Jack loves a Scotch egg.
I go gaga for Scotch eggs,
And he'll eat them like bareback, like raw, with no like dip or nothing, and they'll eat them
There's
cold.
no other way to do it.
Well, like you know, like the ones you get in Tesco's, like the small little tiny ones that are really crummy.
Oh yeah,
and they're really dry. Jack just like lubes up his throat and just
one's like the size of my fist. I just fucking go ham on those bad boys.
You do love it, don't you? You do love it.
I do love it, don't I? And I think that's everything I got there. What else did I get? Oh, I got some bad brief and some Welsh cakes as well for pudding.
Nice.
Yeah, so not too bad. And then we're going for cocktails down the Dead Canary.
You love it there
later on. It's a good one, and they've always got Welsh themed
stuff.
So they've got they've still got that theme going at the moment. It's like Welsh chwedls and like myths are the themes of their cocktails. So like that syncs up.
This week we're going to discuss the Nazis, who were pretty much the nastiest of all bastards.
Famously, very nasty boys.
Yeah. And this is like a bit of a prelude because we've got Luke coming on, who's will be the next guest, who's a TV presenter and social media heartthrob, and he's a big fan of Welsh history, and he is also a big fan of not the Nazis. He's a big fan of the war.
Huge right winger, very anti-Semitic.
He's a big he's really into his history and really into his Welsh history. So. We asked him what topic he might like to do, and we discussed World War II, which we were like, oh, we've never done anything about World War II, which is mental. And in doing so, we found like things that we wanted to do their own independent episodes on. So
always uncovering these little troves, aren't we? Like it's almost like blocking out like the 20th century of history in Wales. It was a bad move for a history podcast, but who knows? We're correcting it now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, the war itself was 6 years, so I'm sure there'll be fucking ample stories from and World War One. Didn't even get started on World War One.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we like medieval stuff, don't we? So we probably just naturally focused in on like that era. Yeah. But yeah, we can spread our wings a little.
So one of the things I researched that fell out of the research I was doing for the episode we're recording with Luke is the secret resistance plans laid for Wales and the UK in case of a Nazi invasion. So they set up these auxiliary units all across Wales, and these were highly secretive, specially trained groups of volunteers who were expected to go underground and carry out sabotage missions behind enemy lines. And as in enemy lines, as in, say if Cardiff got captured by the Nazis, that would be classed as enemy lines. So they're not heading over to fucking Dusseldorf, you know, these enemy lines in Britain.
Goddamn Dusseldorf, is it?
Yeah, don't want to go down Dusseldorf. These units were a secret fighting force, and they were classed as Britain's last line of defence. These men were prepared to resist a German invasion to the last, and they were explicitly told that they had to die fighting. They couldn't retreat, even if it put their family and friends in danger. They kind of signed up knowing they would be they're not leaving, and their whole that was
victory
like their
or
ethos.
death.
Yeah. And I'll explain why in a second, but they had this like brutal mindset as the Nazis were slaughtering entire villages to deter resistance in occupied Europe. So they were like, right, the Nazis are going to come here, and they're going to, if they do get here, they'll fucking absolutely murder as many people as possible. But if we can set up
they're not messing about.
Yeah, and if we can set up some pockets of resistance, we can like slow down the invasion, plus show them that Britain is fucking prepared and they're not going to be like walked over. Because people obviously in parts of occupied Europe, they didn't have time to kind of plan this and this.
Yeah, they were like descended upon it too quick. Yeah,
and we only did this in 1942, so you know halfway into the war, and it's when Winston Churchill dog.
Yeah. Dog.
Dog.
No, not
no,
dog.
bad
Sorry, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
rat
bad
dog. So in 1942, Winston Churchill's British Resistance Organisation set up to defend a deadly secret mission. Civilians with intimate knowledge of the countryside and survival techniques signed the Official Secrets Act, pledging them to remain silent for the next 50 years, so not even to their wives and
bloody
children.
hell.
So I'll come on to that a bit later on, because there's some stories about like their family having no clue that they were part of this, but then sometimes their wife would find like Tommy guns in their in their house, and they'd just be like, "Don't worry about
Love,
it."
what's this Tommy gun in the carriage? Don't you worry, all right? Just don't worry about it.
Sheila, get the fuck out of my garage! I told you four times. Right. These resistance cells had hidden bunkers in remote areas like Abergavenny, Banebrycheiniog, Eryri. I can never say Eryri.
It's a mouthful, that one.
Eryri.
Yeah, that's
Eryri. How would you say?
Yeah, it's easier just. I'd say Eryri.
Yeah. Eryri.
Eryri. Do it bark like a dog. It makes it easier.
Yeah, Banebrycheiniog or Eryri. Or in English, Banebrycheiniog, Brecon Beacons, or up in Snowdonia. Each county trained teams of around 30 auxiliaries, forming patrols based in these underground operational bunkers, or OBs, with special duty sections secretly trained in guerrilla tactics, unarmed combat, and explosives. These patrols were tasked with slowing down any German invasion until Britain's armed forces could regroup and repel them. So the idea would be, say if they did land in Cardiff, or more likely in West Wales or in North Wales, something like that, you could have these things like stopping them getting further into Wales, then stopping them getting into England, and giving the British Army
just
a chance
slowing them down, just that bit.
And these they had the absolute best kit available, like even better than the armed forces. So they gave them Thompson submachine guns, Browning automatic rifles, all imported from the US, who were like making these amazing guns. They also handed
the daddy of the gun world.
Yeah, those guys fucking love a gun. They were given these Payat anti-tank weapons to thwart Hitler's panzers. So they had you were trained in like long range, short range, anti-tank. They had these solid shot cartridges to replace buckshots for shotguns. So shotguns fire buckshots.
Oh, is that where they turn them into a slug? So they're just like really high-powered rifles, essentially, like thick bullets.
Yeah, so fire through cars, fucking eviscerate people. So they had like the best gear. But the covert auxiliaries, they were also trained in like medieval weapons like crossbows to give them the advantage in silent killing. So they had like...
That's mental. We've disabled their modern weapons. They all come down with fucking longbows and stuff.
The Welsh are trained in longbows.
We've trained for generations.
They also had like a special .22 sniper rifle with this... or .22, I'm not a gunman, I don't know, with a powerful telescopic sight and a silencer that could either fire high-velocity bullets to extend the killing range or subsonic bullets for virtual silence close-up. So they had like the best gear. They also had the first people to be issued with the sticky bombs, phosphorus hand grenades, and booby traps, like the Switch number 8 AP, known as the Western Desert as the Castrator.
And those phosphorus hand grenades, are those like illegal now?
Yeah.
You can't, those are war crimes now, aren't they? Yeah, you can't use them anymore. Too cruel.
The patrols also received special tyre-busting mines disguised as lumps of coal, gore wheels, or horse manure.
I like to think that was they went, can you make them look like coal? Well, I mean, it's a lot harder. Make them look like coal.
I won't do it unless it's fucking coal. I went a bit Geordie then, man.
I know. You can stuff your resistance if you're not making it look like coal, right?
Or horse shit, or and they also had up to half a ton of high explosives. So they just had all the gear with them.
Like you said, the wife's doing a bit of spring cleaning in the garage. All this shit is here. Like, what are you doing with coal? Don't touch the coal, love. All right, it's dangerous.
And for reference, if you think half a ton, how to measure that, 2 pounds explosive could destroy buildings and kill dozens. So they were given half a ton's worth, so they could take out fucking units. They had all the fuses, timers, grenades, ammunition, and they would store them in these underground operational bases, or these hidden caches. And if Operation Sea Lion, which was Germans' World War II plan to invade the UK, had been successful, these guerrillas, their first duty was to kill the local police chief to ensure they hadn't tortured him to give away secrets. So they were trained to kill fucking Bobby Dye, just their local officer.
Yeah,
And-
having a pint with the Bobby on the beat
Yeah.
on day 1. Day 2,
Yeah.
sorry mate, I gotta put an end to your life.
You hear the fucking the echo of a SS jackboot, and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I'm gonna have to fucking garrot you."
A firework goes off, and you just
Yeah.
fucking smash a pint glass over his head. It's my orders.
Yeah, and they were also explicitly told that they had to fight to the death rather than surrender, so they weren't expected to ever be rescued. And they were
It's
told
like Japanese
explicitly-
style, that isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no death, no glory.
There's like a film
glory,
called
whatever
like
the hell that is.
Resistance with Michael Sheen in it, and I
Oh,
think
right.
that covers aspects of this. So it's another thing to add to our film list, which I think would be really interesting for us to do. And it covers like a lot of them at the time were kind of ostracized for looking like they were like, well, actually, I'll read the quote here from Abergavenny Museum curator Rachel Rogers. So they said many of these auxiliaries were given a really hard time during the war by people assuming they were just too cowardly to fight, when in fact they were incredibly brave and prepared to sacrifice everything. And Tom Sykes of Coles Hill Auxiliary Research Team, he said they should have been honoured. It seems like our unsung heroes will just disappear into the night because they signed this Secrets Act for 50 years, so they never got to tell anyone. And there's in this museum, in Abergavenny Museum, they have a bunch of quotes and family stories saying like they had no idea about this, about their dads and granddads doing this.
I would say, wouldn't it? Like the general population would kind of look at you and think, "Oh, draft dodger type thing," or something like that. And you can't even when the war was done, you couldn't say, "Oh, by the way, I was like fucking the last line of defense this entire time." You have to wait until either you're dead or 50
and
years.
I suppose they probably had to sign it for 50 years because World War II happened not that long after World War One, so they probably thinking, "Hey, this war might come back again." So if you tell people your secrets, if someone 20 years later the exact same thing happens again, you'd be like, "Oh shit!"
Head job outs in case World War III is pretty soon.
Yeah. So they weren't allowed to tell anybody. So yeah, that's the story of the secret resistance plans in Wales, which I'd never heard of, and like that quote at the end says, these stories will die unless they're told. And as much as we're anti-war,
that's interesting, man. It sounds like it sounds a bit like a Tom Clancy thing, like when like a secret agent is just living a normal life, and then they get like, I don't know, their watch flashes, and it's like, oh, they've been activated as like a covert agent this entire time. It's like a sort of more primitive version of that.
Well,
I guess, like
everything I read literally said these are stories from James Bond. Like the handbook of James Bond. Who wrote it? Who wrote James Bond? Arthur
Ian Fleming.
Yeah, it feels like all stuff out of there. Like everything is hidden, so you have all these secret little mountain bases that you push a button, you can head down to. You have like gadgets that look like things, so you can't let anyone in the community know. So
you've got
to do like
gadgets on like the real fringe of technology and stuff like that for the time. And sounds pretty. It's quite cool. It's weird that it's not movie made. Do you see that Resistance?
Well,
is that about actual the Welsh guys, or is it like in general type thing?
I don't think it's specifically about Resistance. Let's have a little online search now.
I was just about to say, let's use the Google.
Yeah. My fucking computer's so bad. Resistance.
It's Martin Sheen, you said, wasn't it? Was he?
Yeah. Oh, is that Antoine Rayan? Oh, it is, yeah. Mate, we've definitely got to watch this.
So
it's Resistance. It's a 2011 Welsh film directed by Amit Gupta, and it's got it's
set in a Welsh village.
Set in a Welsh village. The plot is, after all the women in a remote valley in the Welsh border awaken to find their husbands have left to serve in a covert British resistance, German occupiers arrive in an alternate reality thriller set in 1944, in which D-Day failed and the United Kingdom had been invaded.
It's got Angela Riseborough in it as well. It's got quite a big cast.
It's got a great cast.
By today's standard, maybe in 2011, was Ewan Rayon as big then?
Not at all.
He's not named. No. He's not named on the front there, so I'm assuming.
But he is on the cover on the photo.
Yeah.
It looks pretty brutal, actually. Right, should we watch it?
Look, I've never even heard of that.
Should we put this on our list?
Yeah, we've got to put it on the list. That's weird that me and you would never heard of that.
I know.
We're film guys and Welsh guys. That I say we're just Welsh boys, a couple of Welsh boys. But that sounds like something that would definitely be on our radar.
It's also got Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Oh shit! It's got Uhtred, man.
It's got Uhtred, son of Uhtred in it. The guy from Last Kingdom.
Yeah. What's his name? He's a German guy, isn't he?
Yeah, Alexander. Oh, he's probably playing a bloody Nazi.
Bloody Nazi, isn't he? Bloody Nazi.
Bloody Nazi. Yeah, Nazi.
Yeah.
I reckon that we could do that. It's on
gotta
Prime,
go on the
free
watch.
of charge. Oh, no, yeah, it's on Prime.
It's not free. Pay for it, mate. As we've
Oh,
said.
yes, very good, very good.
Oh yes,
Teapot
hell of a
boy.
cast.
Hell of a cast.
Hell of a cast.
All right, should we do that for a little Patreon episode? Review that.
Yeah, it's got to be done. Yeah,
Gotta be.
love it.
All right. So there you go.
We'll
Pigs.
call it there, is it?
Sorry, I'm in a race.
There you go, you fucking pigs. Yeah, that's what you get.
What more do you want? We didn't do a shout out for the Patreon, but let's do that at the start because, like, I always feel it's nice to do that at the start. And
Yeah, we'll do it on the next. We'll catch you on the next one.
yeah,
Thanks
well,
for
actually, we
money
probably
again,
won't
but
because the next episode is a guest, and we don't really like to be so braggarty on guest episodes where we talk about money because we don't pay our
Yeah.
guests.
Yeah.
Also, I
on
forgot
that.
we have a YouTube channel. It blows my mind because why would you watch this? Because we don't put any video content up.
Yeah, it's strange, but apparently 10% of all podcasts are listened to on YouTube. That's why we get it. Remember, because we were like, do we need it? And then I remember seeing that stat, and I was like, yeah, let's get one. So all our stuff automatically goes up on there.
Some episodes have like fucking 10 listeners, but then some have some have like decent 100 or whatever. But it's still tiny amounts compared to who actually listens to the main episode. But I don't know, it just made me laugh. I was going through yesterday and I saw it and I was like, well, who's watching this?
I mean, someone sat there with a beer watching an audiogram, like, ha, this is great.
Yeah,
It's amazing, these boys.
Maybe it's like you can, if you pay for YouTube, you could close your app and it'll play in the background.
I think if you got premium, you can you? You can close it and then listen to, like maybe if you're running or going for a walk or something.
All right.
Imagine you can do that probably.
Maybe we figured out why, but it just made me laugh because it was like one of them had 14 app listeners, so it's like, oh, God, that's grim.
I much prefer you coming around tonight? Yeah, me and the boys are going to watch the new Tales for Wales video on YouTube, and it's just an audiogram flashing and moving.
All right, then, should we get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, let's call it there. Is it?
I'll speak to you
Cheers
later
for
on, mate.
listening, guys.
Catch you later, man.
Love you an awful lot.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.